How's everyone doing? This is your cursed paladin, Artanic. Hope you all having a good one today, and I hope you all enjoyed the show. This is just a quick little tutorial thing for Fallout 4's little character creation. So when I do start up this thing as a little Let's Play series with you guys narrating it, in a sense, uh, make sure you have all the information you need for those that have never played this game or any of the other Fallout. So you know all too well, oh, so this is how you go ahead and make up the character's looks a bit. Since, quite frankly, I will give you guys the option of letting me know what type of hairstyle, the eye color, race, and gender, as well as what sort of physical condition the body's in, as well as any blemishes or scars that are on the body. So, well, most really should say on the face. So let's get in, start this little tutorial up, shall we? The loading sequence is way too long. Definitely need to get that editing software first. By far. Especially considering all the running I'll be doing on survival mode since there's no little bloody able to jump from location to location to location. True, I do plan to use a mod if I'm allowed to by you guys. Will be useful. This is the default look of the character.
War never changes.
At
You're gonna
least
knock
if you
him
go
dead
with the
at the
male.
entrance hall tonight,
And
hun.
that's the
You think?
female default.
Absolutely. Now get ready and stop hogging the mirror.
Right.
But yeah, you can go with multiple different faces that they've got selected, as you can see, which are all pretty neat and cool. But you can also modify them, and that includes hairstyles. Let's go all the way to the top. Don't remember that one. Wonder if that was added into something. Since after all, the original starting point's boot camp, which as you can see is pretty bald. And then it goes from there along. I'll just leave it like this and go down the list. So you know just how wild it can be. You get some interesting ones. Of course, I'll have to go back through these with full front face bit so you can see properly. I could have sworn there was further down. It's not. As you can see. Head down a little bit left scrap. Since you do get some pretty cool hairstyles. And some pretty wild ones. I am curious as to what the heck that is from. Gotta be something from one of the mods.
Nice. Did
Let's
you
go
get a
with this
haircut?
for a moment, and we'll show the various colors. Starting from the beginning with Mighty Thor. Good old platinum blonde. Then you go blonde, gold, dirty blonde, and so forth through the list of coloring. Pretty standard colors, pretty cool colorings. And then you get some pretty wild colors as well as age takes effect.
This new haircut's really working for me.
And you can start to go to a whole Rowan Raiden thing going off. You can also add in some facial hair with none, lazy morning, daddy-o, chin duster, gentleman, survey, and all the rest. That might be best seeing those extra ones. But yeah, as you can see, some interesting bits. Yeah, remember to leave in the comments which ones of these styles that you guys do prefer, so I can actually start this whole thing up without too much trouble.
Mustache, huh?
Since yeah, I will do some bits on my own. It's the whole sculpting bit and all that, which is only understandable.
What do you think, hon?
I'll leave the soul patch there
Beard
for
or
the
no
moment. And I'll change this to that. Okay. Now that that is done. Oops. Face. As you can see, you can actually change the color of the skin tones by a fair margin. And as you go through them, you do get some pretty cool and pretty wild looks.
That's my handsome guy.
The same with the eyes. Change their colors too. From steel all the way through. And I do like using this one when I want to make myself look like a zombie. Since I have done that before, I have run a playthrough where I look very much like a ghoul without any actual mods to make me into a ghoul. And those can be pretty freaky. But yeah, apart from that, you do have a type of mouth
I clean up pretty nice.
as well, which, as you can see, varies a bit from young to old
I was looking.
style
Yeah, Sean has yours
for each
now.
type. So yeah,
Yeah, not bad.
as you guys are seeing all this, like I said, do leave a comment in this section, but well, down below, so I know. Okay, from
Such a
who?
great smile.
Well, from the number of comments and what types. Okay, that you guys would probably prefer like Smirk 3,
Well,
for
hello,
example,
handsome.
with Beatnik, Platinum Blonde, and Save, Suave, or whatever the fuck you want to go with.
You have great lips. You know that?
As you go through.
What do you think, hon? Roguishly handsome or handsomely roguish?
The same with the nose here. It's got multiple types as well
Such a cute nose.
that you can modify around.
Hon, you think my nose is too big?
And not too bad overall.
So handsome.
But do be warned,
Not
I will
bad.
take some
Not
leeway
bad.
with them, like the whole sculpting bit, like going, yeah, for an example.
So handsome.
Where if you want me to make him as ugly as possible, I could go crazy. There are multiple types of
Looking
eyes
good,
too,
if I
where,
do say so myself.
as you can see, changes around just a wee little bit.
Your eyes. They're one of my favorite things about you.
So yeah, be sure to mark down
Looking
everything you
good,
guys
if
would
I
like
do
to
say so myself.
me to try and throw in, and I'll take the most popular listings. Of course, that means if there's only one person that marks down anything, then their choices are
Such
the ones that
pretty
get a
eyes.
roll. So make sure, if you do watch this, to leave the comments below. And I know I'm being persistent with that
Not
word
bad.
and that
Not
phrase,
bad.
but I want to just drum it into you guys' heads, since I have asked a couple of times for information from you,
Sean
comments
totally
and
has
that,
your eyes.
so I know, okay, this will work or this will not work. And little or no feedback, usually none, which can be a bother.
What do you think, hon? Roguishly handsome or
But
handsomely roguish?
I still persist and still keep on going.
You have such strong
If I
cheekbones.
can find out what uh, going on, then cool. But yeah, almost forgot about the forehead here.
Well, hello, handsome.
See, you got the different types of skin tech too. The same goes on the neck.
Oh, that's the face I fell in love with.
And then finally, you have the ear.
I clean up pretty nice.
As you can see, do vary a little.
You look as good as the day we met.
Of course, I'm gonna have to put this guy's head back facing forward so you can see. The funny
Yeah,
thing is,
not bad.
she has basically the same list of modifications that you can do. And now you can see why I had to go for a full front, well, for the full frontal face bit again,
I love that face.
because, quite frankly, you can't really tell too well from the side with the malformed ears
Looking good, if I do say so myself.
and some of these others.
What's
Eh,
different about you?
yeah, all good. But yeah, that's what you can do with the face, like that. Of course, there's the extras here, which are the blemishes. From
Not bad. Not bad.
adding in freckles, and other odds and ends, as you can see. The eye socket shade, lip colors, rough face, forehead blemishes. As you can see, blemishes 2, 3, 4. Which you might notice me with clicking on and off what it is. 5, 6, 7. Then you got your cheeks. And I really did think that I wouldn't have to worry too heavily on the copyright stuff, but I'm gonna have to with this one, because that music that you can hear is what one of the mods were meant to fix. Ah, not quite apparently. Whoops.
Looking good.
Look out of it a little. Some of these scars are pretty cool. Unfortunately, some you can't really see too well. Unless you turn the head around. If you want, I could always run as the Joker. Or at least as close as I could get with the Joker. Unfortunately, there's no green hair. But that's how that one is. Apart from this one feature. As you can see, that's the standard. Then you got Mr. Muscle. Well, Mr. Olympian here with the muscle build. The poverty-stricken Kenny build. And then Big Smoke from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas build. So apart from
My
her,
turn, big guy.
well, apart from him, you can also play as the female character. And like I said before, plenty of choices and faces, as well as different various looks, as you can customize around. And if you're wondering what that robot is in the background, that is Codsworth. And then once you've chosen the correct name, he will be able to say it quite well. Wonder if I should just leave it like this for the moment. Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, do keep note of what styles and other bits and pieces for the whole thing, because once it's all made and you guys have chosen the name and all the rest, then sweet. And I'm pretty sure I don't need to go for a side view for the most part, but I'm pretty sure I do have a ponytail in here somewhere. Yeah, ponytail, fairy tail. As you can see from the side view, with the little bund and all that.
I have the best hairdresser, I swear.
The same coloring, as you can see. Pretty cool, pretty wild.
Did I mention how much I love your new hairstyle?
Oh, that is very bright. And then, as you can see,
Yeah, I like that.
the various styles. As you go through the various grades of skin tone. But please do try to remember which is which and go with them. Of course, there's also eye color, which, as you can see, does have some interesting ones. And there's my zombie.
Such pretty eyes.
That looks nice.
Of course, I could always just customize the character off screen and bring it to you.
Looking good, huh?
But I thought I'd let you guys choose a particular one and go run with it. Since there are some nice ones,
Sweetie, you like
and some
my
interesting
nose,
mixes.
right?
And I do have a habit of making whichever spouse I don't go ahead and play as
Such a
the
cute
most,
nose.
well, how to put twisted abomination that has ever seen the face of the,
I still got it.
well, simply put, they're ugly as all hell. They're just a complete abomination that should never have
I
seen
think
the light
Sean
of
has your
day.
nose.
Like, seriously twisted.
Oh,
Beyond
yeah.
belief.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Do try to remember the looks here and choose the correct
Sean has your
ones.
smile, you know.
And I'll try to go from there with what everyone has chosen. The majority has chosen, I should say. Within the
Not bad.
comments below.
Not bad at all.
And from there, we'll see how things progress.
Are you staring at those lips too? Or is that just me?
That
Quite a
looks
fair bit
nice.
going on here and should be pretty cool.
You have such a cute chin.
Hope everyone's enjoying the bloody setup so far, the looks.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
As you can see,
Sweetie, you look as
I'll have to
beautiful
go
as the
through
day we met.
these again in just a moment with side view so you can actually tell the full difference. Just like I had to do with All Mate there.
Yeah, I like that.
Or I think I'll go with a left so you can actually see the malformed side a
Absolutely
little bit
lovely.
better. So yeah. Hope everyone's having fun and enjoying.
I still
And I
got
really
it.
do wish I could turn that radio off. So bad. That's why I'm also trying to drown out just endless talk right at the moment. Do do do.
So pretty.
True, I don't know if I'm actually pulling it off, so we'll just have to wait and see. Oh. The same goes for the necktie here. As you
Oh,
can see,
yeah. Yeah, that works.
and of course, the eye. Well, pull the head down a little.
You do
I
know
almost
you have
forgot
the
about
most
the eye,
beautiful eyes I've ever seen.
which is my fault. But yeah, after choosing the particular
I
style,
think Sean
I
has
can
eyes.
have some fun with it all.
Sean totally has your eyes.
It's yeah, doing this
Oh,
during
yeah.
the early
Yeah,
hours
that
of the
works.
morning does suck a little bit. I need to hit the sack
You do
pretty
know
bad.
you've got the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen.
So, I can easily have some fun
I
with some of this.
still got it.
Sean totally has your eyes.
And with the whole sculpting bit, you can actually move them in further or further apart. You can also twist them up and down. So you can go for all sorts of wild looks, as you can see. Make them big or make them really tiny. So I'll leave you guys to let me know about that one.
That looks nice.
But yeah, since no facial hair, don't have to show you that one. But there is the body type, and then I'll get on to face blemishes and that. As you can see, standard build. Then Miss Olympian, South Park Poverty, and finally, Big Smoke's girlfriend. I ate too much chicken. Which then leaves us with the final bit. Which, back to the face to make sure it's pale. It's on pale. Good.
Gorgeous.
Just want to make sure. Remove all the makeup for the moment. As you can probably see, bit of blush. The lip liner, gloss, all the rest. You can have some fun with the various makeup on the chick character. As you can see. Same with markings, like freckles. So I should really turn the face back around for that. Considering the cheek. Which can be pretty cool. And then finally, the blemishes. Some of them are pretty wild, some are pretty cool, and others are just like, why the hell would you throw some of these in? Unless, of course, you want to try and make her look like a teenager with acne. Same with the old mate there. Considering that is just nasty. And I don't know what the hell would cause that, but god damn. Oof. Yeah. As you can see, some interesting little voices. Some pretty bad scars on it too. Like, damn, what the hell would have caused that one? Sort of thing. That's still pretty cool. Like I said, I could always go as Joker. For on a female character, it'd be a little bit different. But I could always just go as Harley Quinn in that regard, and Joker had a little bit of fun. Damn, that's bad burn. And that's the list of them all. And I'm gonna find that bloody radio and turn it off. This should be off. Much better. But yeah, that's Codsworth. And this is part of some settlement, which can be a little annoying.
Good morning, Mum.
And as you can see, it's pretty cool.
173.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Brewed to perfection.
Without too much hassle.
Today's newspaper just delivered.
And we can easily have ourselves a wee bit of fun as we go a little crazy.
Hey, hun.
Can't believe it's almost Halloween. Need to finish making Sean's costume.
Since, yeah. I'll quit the main menu, and then I'll go ahead and show you one little thing from my recent game that I started up prior to doing the whole YouTube thing, and then never got really around to. But that's okay. And if you're like, why did you choose this name? Simple. Very simple. It was just one that worked, and I went, yeah, this will do fine. Huh. I'll have to double check on those damn mods. Pretty sure I had all the workshop ones I enabled. Custom settlements. Guess I could be mistaken. Oh. Soon find out. But it doesn't matter too much with this here. This is just a quick little show of the perk trees. Well, perk tree, period. Since you can grab every single perk in the game if you really want to. Of course, by then you're like level 260, or close to. Since this game doesn't really have a level limit, unlike the previous Fallout games before this. Fallout 3, New Vegas, Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, and Fallout 1. Each one did have a separate tactic, well, a set limit on how many levels you could go up. Fallout New Vegas, his limit was 50. If I remember right, Breeze was particular as well, and that mod should have turned all this off. I'm sure I got it right. If I haven't, then I'm gonna be very ticked at myself, because that radio should not be active. I need to get the hell away from here so it doesn't kick in. That's the one thing that's really bugging me. Guess I have to have a little look-see for another mod if this is running and it's not doing its job. And damn, I can't believe that took over half an hour just to explain those various features already. I'll have to just check the mod later. Oh yeah, it was workshop, really. That's what it was. The thing was. My bad. Sure I have it at. Yeah, I do. Uh-huh. Yeah, if, sounds like every bloody radio's damn on with you. I'll move out of range. Don't hear the mod now. Which is good. Since Diamond City here is the wrong type. But that's beside the point. What we want is perk chart here. as you can see, is categorized by a level system of 1 through to 10. At level 1, you got your bits here. But you'll be like, oh, what's this bit up the top? This is your special, which is your various stats. Depending on how many points you have in it, depends on what level of the perk chart that you can go down to. As you can see, strength is a measure of your raw physical power, which affects how much you can carry and all your melee damage that you can do. Perception is your awareness of your environment, so it affects your weapon accuracy, as well as being able to know where enemies are around you at times and all that on the compass. Endurance is your total amount of health and how much action points get drained from sprinting. You might be wondering why do you have it so high right off the bat? Simple. With survival, you're running around a lot. So the action point drain from sprinting does come in effect. Plus the health does not hurt. Since with survival mode, low health means easy death, because enemies do a lot more damage to you. And you don't do too much damage to them. Charisma is, you can charm others. So persuasion during dialogue sequences, special dialogue sequences, as well as the prices of the various goods that you can buy from the traders throughout the Commonwealth. Intellect is how much overall experience points you get. And you'd be like, oh, if that's the case, why is it low? I'll get to that in a moment. But it's still a handy one to go ahead and crank up. There's a little trick at the low end of the leveling scale that can actually make you level quicker with low intelligence. And then we come up to agility, which equals into your action points and your ability to sneak. And you might be wondering, like, action points, what are these? I'll get to that in a moment too. And finally, we have luck, which equals into how well your critical meter recharges from out of the VAT system. And if you were like, okay, why didn't you up the intellect? This is why. While your intellect is low, you have a higher chance of this particular perk proccing. And as you can see, at the very beginning you can grab this if you have 5 luck, which has a good chance of giving you 3 times the XP for any action that you do. And, oh, I hit the wrong button there. Sorry. My bad. As you progress, it goes up to 5, and then finally you'll just get random XP from any action that may trigger 3 times from any kill for a short period. Which is cool, but 9 times out of 10 you will be doing something like lockpicking or something, and there'll be no enemies around, which can really suck. But let's go through these, all from level 1. You got Iron Fist, which is how much your unarmed damage does. 20 to 40 with the chance to disarm. To 60, which has the chance to cripple opponent's limbs. 80, which increases the chance even more to cripple a person's limbs. And then finally, Full Blast, which is now double damage and critical hits and VAT paralyze your opponents. You have Pickpocket. Pretty simple. You nick stuff out of everyone's damn pockets in sneak mode. Then you get a 50% and you can easily drop a grenade in a person's inventory. So slip a grenade into their pockets and let them blow. Fun one to use. I used to do it all the time with Fallout 3 in New Vegas, especially with the landmine. You find so many of those. And it's just so much fun to trigger a landmine, just drop in a person's pocket, and then hear him go, oh no! Boom! Then you have picking, the next category, which ups it to 75, and you can start to steal their weaponry. And then finally, you get double the chance. And you can steal anything out of the inventory without too much hassle. Pretty much. Toughness, which equals into more of your damage resistance. It's a 10 at the beginning, 20, 30, 40, and then finally 50, which can equal into a little bit more of a chance of you surviving, since at the low end, this comes in handy. High end, not as much. Cap Collector. Just how well you can buy and sell from your vendors. And I do like having the third one here, because once you do have the third, you go ahead and able to then invest in them. 500 caps out of your own money into their store, which means every time you go there, they'll have that increased amount. And if you're able to go ahead and sell them enough stuff to get all your money back, you can easily start getting like 500 more caps off each vendor that you've invested into, like almost every day or every couple of days. And that can equal into a lot of money, which can equal into a lot of various items that you can acquire that are more of a pain in the rump to buy. Then you have vans here, which the first one, not so great, since it shows you the closest quest target when you're in VATS. Not greatest. But the 2 perception that you get from the second one does come in handy, because you can have 10 in perception here, you throw this in, that's 12. Does come in handy, with just that wee bit more accuracy. And then we have ourselves good old Gunslinger, which makes non-automatic pistols do more damage. 20 at the beginning, 40 with increased range, 60 with the range being increased even further, 80 with the chance to disarm your opponents, and then finally double damage off the weapon. In a much better chance to disarm an opponent and may even cripple a limb. This is a must-have in survival, which I should have really put a point in already. I hadn't. But I haven't really gone too far either. I've just been screwing around grinding kills. But you get a chance to find more bottle caps out of containers. Yeah, a few more, and a few more, and then finally you get even more. But there's also a chance when you kill an enemy that they'll explode and there'll be like about 18-20 caps just flung around their body, which can be killed and quite handy. Down the list we have the next one, which is also pretty good to have, but not quite as a must-have, and that's the Scrounger here, where you can find more ammo in containers, and more, and more, and then finally there's a chance with the last round in your clip, you'll go ahead and save it. You'll be able to shoot it and still save the round, sort of thing. It can be cool. Going Commando, where you can use your automatic weapons. Do a little, well, I shouldn't say use your automatic weapons. It's more like it increases the damage of them, which can come in handy for the Tommy guns. 20% at the beginning, 40 with more hip fire accuracy. More hip fire accuracy with 60% damage, 8% with a chance to stagger an opponent, and then finally double damage with even a greater chance to stagger. Then you have Medic, which you must be like, why don't you have at least your intelligence at 2 for Medic? It is true that it is very handy to have, because an extra, to restore 40% of your lost health and 40% radiation removal is pretty sweet and pretty handy. You can get away with it pretty easily enough, because your stim packs do heal you a fair amount already. And if you're smart enough in the game, you don't really need to worry too much. Hell, I'm usually selling stim packs because I find so many out in the wastes, and I barely ever use them. 60%, the same with the raid away, 80% with both, and then finally all health and all radiation, and much quicker, which is nice. And depending on if you go male or female, this will either be Lady Killer or Manhunter, I think it is, where, as you can see with level 1 here, 5% damage in combat and easy to persuade in dialogue with the opposite sex. 10% damage, easy to persuade, and you can also possibly pacify with the imitation perk. If I can get go further and, well, down enough in the tree on charisma, you do get intimidation here. And then finally 15% more damage, easier to persuade in combat. Well, easier to persuade in dialogue, and even more easier to do the whole pacify with the intimidation on the opposite sex. Then you have Lead Belly, which is handy to have because you take less damage, well, less radiation from eating and drinking, even less as you progress, to the point where you cop none. Which is cool and handy, but it's not the most useful of perks, because you don't really take too much radiation from food anyway. The same with drink. And you can usually find clean supplies of them without too much hassle as well. Plus, there's a companion perk that requires a certain amount of radiation to work, and this kind of negates it a fair chunk. There's also a couple others that negate them too. Riflemen, where non-automatic rifles come into play. You get 20% more damage, 40% more damage with ignoring 15% of the target's armor, 60% more damage with 20% ignoring target's armor, 80% damage with ignoring 25% of the target's armor, and a slight chance to cripple a limb. Double damage, 30% ignore of target's armor, and have a slightly higher chance of crippling the target's limb than what you did with the previous rank. And then finally, Big League, where your melee weapon damage comes into play. 20% more, 40% more of a chance to cripple your opponent, 60% more with gain the increased chance of disarm your opponent, 8% more melee, and hit all targets in front of you. So you could easily hit your primary one and hit the guys beside him, sort of thing, and knock them all out for a bit. And then finally, double damage with a chance to cripple your opponent and grand slam the head clean off, which is beautiful when it happens. Batter up! Home run! Now let's change this up a little. Before I go into level 3, I'm gonna actually put on the classical music, because I bet you being like, man, I wish I could hear something else too. And of course, it's not the greatest, but at least I can get away with this station, unlike the other one. Now we have armor right here, which, as you can sort of tell, gives you access to various modifications that you can do to your armor in the game. Rank 1, rank 2, 3, and then finally 4. You have awareness, which lets you know what sort of health pool your enemy has, whether they're weak against radiation damage, physical damage, or energy damage type weaponry, which can come in handy, as well as let me see, their level as well, which can come in handy for knowing, okay, this guy's at this level, I can take him down, piss weak easy. Okay, this guy's like 20 levels ahead of me, I better be cautious, that sort of thing. The rank 2 of it, no, you go ahead and increase the hit chance and more damage dealt to that targets, which, even though it's only 5% more, that 5% is quite handy. And it does give you more details with the rank 2. Lifebringer, increase your max health. 20%, 20, an additional 20, and then finally an additional 20, as well as slowly regenerate lost health. This is a must-have, easily enough, because that's 60 points more of max health. 60 points more of health, and as you can see, with the whole regenerate lost health, this is where you don't start getting to the point where you don't need stim packs anymore. You're just able to generate health. There are 3 perks in this game which make it stim packs absolutely useless. The same with the Radaway, because you just regenerate health and you're able to recover from radiation super quick, super easy. The only time you ever need to use a stim pack is when you got like maybe 20, 30 enemies going at you at once that are heavily armed. And this is one perk that I will probably be grabbing, because as you can see, when you're without a companion, which dog meat, the dog that you can find early on, does count as not a companion. You take 15% less damage and your carry weight increases by 50. Carry weight is essential in survival mode because it's reduced by a fair margin, unlike with other difficulty settings. And as you can see, as we progress, 30% less damage, 100%, well, 100 pounds of more carry weight, 20% more damage I can do, well, sorry, 25% more damage I can do, and 25 more action points, which is the main reason I grabbed this, because of the whole needing to sprint across the Commonwealth. It is a pain not having enough action points to go from point A to point B, especially if point A is all the way up the very top end of the map, and you're gonna go all the way to the bloody southern end of the map. Considering it can take you a good half an hour, literally half an hour in the game to run from one point to the next. It can take a long time. Gun Nut, as you can sort of tell, is giving you access to the various gun modifications. Ranks 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sneak, which is very handy and very common to grab for most players. 20% harder to detect while sneaking, 30% harder to detect with sneaking, and no longer trigger floor traps like landmines, tripwires, and the like. Through, of course, it doesn't really, well, other ones, not the landmines, unfortunately, with rank 2. As you can see with rank 3, which is the landmine. 40% more harder to detect, 50% harder to detect, and running no longer adversely affects stealth. So you could be all nice and stealthy and sneaky and trying to quickly dash across the map with it, but until you get this rank of stealth, well, sneak, it you still make too much noise. The same if you use your Pip-Boy. You leave too much light and people tend to notice. And then finally, engage in stealth causes distant enemies to lose you. So that can come in handy, but it's not the most important. This is quite a handy one to have. And a fun one too, because after all, who doesn't love seeing a body explode into little giblets? 5% more damage, 10% more damage, 15, and then finally, when an enemy explodes, nearby ones will suffer the same fate. So if you manage to kill one dude and there's 2 other dudes beside him, all 3 will blow up. Which could be cool. And this guy is quite a handy one. The Mysterious Stranger, who, while you're in VATS, has a chance to pop up and lend a hand. He'll pop up and pot shot the guy you're attacking and then disappear. Since he'll 9 times out of 10 will do a one-hit KO on him, sort of thing. Then you get more often in VATS, and when he kills it, you go ahead and get a chance to get your critical meter full, and even more often he'll pop up, and also a higher chance to get your critical meter filled when he kills them. Sandman. This is more the Dark Routes character, where you can instantly kill a sleeping person. So someone's in their bed all nice and asleep, you can sneak up to them, slit their throat, and then steal their goodies. It also makes your silenced weapons do more damage while you're in sneak attack mode. So while you're in sneak mode, well, while you're in your whole stealth bit with sneaking, you shoot them with a silenced weapon, you'll do sneak attack damage. Can come in handy. 30% more sneak attack damage on silent weapons, and then 50% more. hacker. Throughout the game, there are two things that can be a right bother at times. You've got terminals that are locked that you need hacking for, which hackers use here, which has various different degrees, as you can see. 3 ranks are the ones that you really need. So your standard, your expert, and then your master. You can grab the 4th so you never get locked out, but the thing is, unlike the previous Fallout games, the lockout is not permanent in this game. It only stops you from accessing the goddamn computer for a minute or 2. That's it. It's like, oh great. This little final perk would have been ideal if the lockout was permanent. Because Fallout 3, if you messed up, you were locked out of that computer for the whole bloody game until you start a new file. And then you had to try your luck then. You only had the one chance. And if you screwed it, you were screwed for good. The same with New Vegas and the other Fallout games. The only ones that had decided not to do that is Fallout 4 here and Fallout 76. Then you have Attack Dog, which makes it so dog meat can actually do a little bit more damage. Your faithful canine companion can hold an enemy, giving you a greater chance to hit them in bats. When your dog holds an enemy, there's a chance he'll cripple a limb he's biting on. When your dog's holding an enemy, there's a chance he'll cause them to bleed, which will literally make it so their health will drain by the second, easily enough. And when adventuring with your dog, you take 10% less damage, which combined with this is quite effective, because you go from 30% less damage to 40 from that alone. Those two combined. And then you have chem resistant, which makes you 50% less likely to get addicted while consuming chems, and then immune from chem addiction, which can come in handy. There is one particular section of the game where chem addiction can come in handy, and that's because of one particular person. Especially if you could get yourself addicted and then cured after a set point with this companion's quest chain. Well, quest line. And then finally we get over to Locksmith, which allows you to pick more advanced lock up to the master grade lock. And the final one makes it so your bobby pins never break while lockpicking. That's cool and all, but you find so many of them out there that I'm usually selling the blasted things for 1 cap a piece. Sorry. Throat's getting a bit dry from all this talking. Considering this is going to be a pretty long damn tutorial video for you guys. Very dry. Sorry about that. As you can see, Blacksmith, which affects all your melee weapon modification. Ranks 1, 2, and 3. Then as we go down, we got Heavy Gunner, which increases your big gun's damage. So minigun, missile launcher, Fat Man, for good examples. After all, it can be pretty cool just roaming the wastes with the whole minigun. I do prefer the Gatling laser myself, if I do go heavy. Then you have from 20% to 40% with improved hip firing, 60% with even more improved hip firing, 80% with a chance to stagger, and then double damage, which can be very cool. And now over to one of the more broken perks of the game. Demolitionist. Good old demolition expert. 25% more damage on explosives, and you can craft any explosive at the chemistry station. 50% more damage. Grenades now gain a throwing arc, so you can actually tell exactly where the son of a gun's gonna land instead of trying to judge. 75% more damage with an area effect, well, large area effect. And then double damage. Mines and grenades can be shot in vats to explode for double damage too. And it doesn't have to be your own grenades. You could see your enemy about to throw a Molotov off at you. You could shoot the Molotov just as it leaves their hand, and it will do double damage to them. And here's one that 99% of people grab. Because Aqua Boy no longer take radiation damage while you're swimming. You barely need to be ankle deep in water, and you'll start taking radiation damage from it. But specifically, being able to breathe underwater, which comes in handy. And I hit the wrong bloody button again. My bad. As you can see, rank 2 makes you undetectable while you're in the water, which can come in handy because there are some enemies that will chase you heaven to hell and back while you're in the water. Then you have Animal Friend, which can be a handy little mod. Well, sorry, handy little perk, because you have a chance when you aim a gun at an animal below your level to make it pacified. So you could have this big, mean rat scorpion coming at you. You can point your gun at it, it'll become nice and passive. As you progress, you can actually make them your, temporary friend, where they'll actually start to pay for it. And to the point where you can give them specific commands where you can go ahead and pacify it, and you can then tell it to go attack buddies that are coming to get you too. Like, let's say an attack dog was coming at you, and there were a couple of two dudes coming at you as well with guns. You can then pacify the dog and get it to attack those dudes. The same with other animals as well. For a good example. So sorry about all this coughing. Because of throat strides. Heck. But that is a handy little thing. It's not as good as what it was with the previous Fallout games. Because when you had this, it would automatically, as a passive skill, make any various animals no longer attack you, like dogs, mole rats, and the like. Unfortunately, in this one, they'll still attack you unless you go ahead and use your gun on them. Scrapper, which is handy as all hell for any settlement building types. Because as you scrap your various weapons and armor and junk and all that, well, you'll go ahead and get various components like aluminium, screws, copper, lead, and so forth through thing like gears and all. With Scrapper in particular, when you do go ahead and scrap your weapons and armor, you'll go ahead and gain more various components. At level 1, screws, aluminium, copper. At level 2, circuitry, so circuit boards, nuclear material, fiber optics. Also makes it so any items that you have favored, those components, are highlighted in containers, which can come very handy, and you can get even more while scrapping. Now over to Action Boy, which is also a must-have for survival. Your action points regenerate 25% faster, 50% faster, 75% faster. Which you might think is not all that great, but it means you can gain your back to full bloody action point score within seconds instead of minutes, sort of thing. Well, in a couple of seconds instead of a minute or two. And if you remember, good old Savant, then we got good old better criticals where criticals do 50% more damage, twice the amount of damage, and 2.5 times as much extra damage, which can be a lot of damage. Then you have moving target, where while you're running around, you get a 25 damage resistance and 25 energy resistance while sprinting, 50 to both while sprinting, and then this, which is part of the reason why it's also a critical thing while you're in survival mode, because that stacks with action point quite nice. The 50% less action points being used while sprinting means this, combined with this, you're regenerating pretty much right back what you're using without a problem, or very close to. So you can get like triple the distance before you run out of clothes. Science, where all the high-tech little weapons and gizmos in the game get the various modifications for them, like laser rifles, the Gatling laser, and so forth. This is where it comes in handy, as well as making your robots in the game. As you can see, ranks 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pretty cool, pretty handy. Local leader. This is more for your settlements here, where you're able to create supply lines between your various settlements that you have control of within the game. Can come in handy then. And then also being able to build stores and workstations within your settlements, which can come in even handier in some way. Rad resistance. This just adds in a bit more resistance to radiation damage from all sources of radiation that you can find within the game. Can be handy, can be a drag too, because depending on what sort of a style you go with, since like I was saying earlier, there is a particular companion that gives you a nice little perk, but you do need to be a certain amount of radiation damage on you to make it active, which this negates partially off, because it takes longer to get that radiation up. So you got 10, 20, 30, then 40 resistance boost. Night person. During the nighttime hours of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., you gain 2 intelligence and 2 perception at rank 1. At rank 2, it's free to both, and you get night vision while sneaking. That is bloody handy to have, because it works indoors during day or night. So you don't have to use your Pip-Boy for a light, or a mining helmet, or even your power armor helmet. And then of course, the final one, 30 extra health between those nighttime hours. And then we come to strong back within the strength tree, which makes you carry 25 pounds more carry weight, 50 pounds more carry weight. When you're overcumbered, you can use your action points to run, which is handy. Very bloody handy. Even though this says fast travel, in survival mode, you cannot fast travel. So that one don't really work, except in a certain situation. And that's because of the whole Institute's little Corsa chip, which lets you teleport. But what they don't tell you with this, from where they changed it around with survival mode, is when you're over encumbered, and specifically in survival mode until you get this particular point in strongback, you cop periodic damage. So every second you're copping damage. Well, every few seconds, sorry, I should say, you're copping damage to yourself, and it will slowly take chunks out of your health, more and more per each tick. It does do it. But it also will cripple your legs, so you will be slowed all the way down to a very minimal crawl as you try to get back to a settlement to drop all this stuff off to, or to a vendor to sell it to. And then finally, the final perk, which makes you use 50% less action points while running when you're over encumbered. Can be very handy, that. Especially considering I'm a bit of a hoarder and have a tendency to grab every bloody thing in sight. Then we come to ranks 7, level 7 of the various things. You got steady aim, which makes hip fire and accuracy a bit better on any of your guns that you fire. Then you can improve it even more, and then even more so. The refractor, which makes you have a bit of energy resistance. 10, 20, 30, 40 to 50 resistance. Pretty handy. In this one's always good to get, because who doesn't want to have a skeleton like Wolverine out of X-Men, hey? 30% less limb damage, 60% less limb damage, and then limb damage is completely eliminated. So, even if you don't have the strong back up to 4, if you get this all the way to 3, then when you're over encumbered, you will not cop the damn whole limb issue where you'll cripple your legs and unable to run fast, and therefore get to an area quickly enough. But you will still cop the damage, which can suck. Then you have Party Boy, where you'll cop a bit of fun with the various grogs that you can find in the game. No chance to get addicted to booze, double the effects of the booze, and then while you are drunk, you gain 3 points of luck. So, you become an alcoholic, basically, in the game, and have no bad side effects from it. Then here you have Chemist, which has a similar thing, where 50% longer lasting chems, twice as long lasting chems, 150% lasting chems, and then 200% longer lasting chems. So yeah, you go from, let's say, for an example, Jet. Before you get this, Jet lasts you for 10 seconds. With this, it's 15, 20, 25, 30 seconds it can last you. And that is a long time for Jet to be working on. Considering that's basically 3 doses of Jet that you're using on 1 dose. For the duration, so to speak. And Jet is basically bullet time in the game, I guess you could call it. Because you slow down time to a crawl, except for you. And you're able to just go in there and just go crazy on your opponents. And good old Ninja now, where your ranged sneak attacks do 2.5 normal damage, and your melee sneak attacks do 4 times normal damage. 3 times normal damage on your melee, and your range, and 5 times normal damage on your melee. 3.5 times normal damage on range, 10 times normal damage on melee. Again, in a melee sneak attack, it's tricky ass, but with this on it, and if you can pull it off, it is beautiful. Being able to just slug them across the damn map with a one-hit KO. Critical banker, where when you're using your VAT system, which is bugged, I might like to mention, so it can be a problem at times, since I've had to restart the damn game from the desktop. Had to close the game fully and restart it just to be able to play, because it freezes the freaking damn computer. This bug, it is a pain in the rear. But in any case, with your critical hits and your critical meter, with this particular one, it gives you a little storage bit for each one, where you get 1 per rank, where you can save up and just been able to spam your critical hit for up to 5 hits, I think, maybe, in total. It's 4 or 5. It's been a while since I used it. Then we come down to level 8 with the Grim Reaper, where any kills in VATS has a 50% chance to restore all your action points, which is cool and bad. It's good if you can do it on the final kill of your VAT. because then you got your fats all the way back up and you go straight back in. But 9 times out of 10, it's within the first couple, and you just waste it. Or a good portion of it. 25% on the second rank, and a 35% on the third, as well as the chance to refill your critical meter, which can be very sweet if you're just using these two in conjunction with each other, where you're just pop shotting, and if you're able to use the final one and this kicks in, you're able to possibly refill all the... Unless they fix that. It's been a while since I used them in conjunction. But over the quick hands, where you're able to reload all your guns quicker. Might not seem all that crazy and great, but when it takes you like that 3 or 4 seconds to reload one bullet, it can make a difference. And reloading your guns no longer costs any action points in bats, which is very handy. And then finally, you go ahead and gain an additional 10 action points to use on top. Then we move over to Robotics Expert, where you're able to hack a robot and gain a chance to power it off, or even set it to blow itself up. At rank 1. Rank 2, you can hack, well, able to hack them a little bit easier and entice them to attack. And at rank 3, you're able to control them like a companion and give them specific commands for a period of time, which can be very handy. Very handy indeed. But there's also another reason to get this perk. Because of the Automatron DLC that the game has, this perk actually gives you access to more of the various robotic modifications that are out in the game. And then as such, you're able to go ahead and start modifying the robots you're able to build to have hacksaws and bloody flamethrowers and miniguns to be a lot easier in the game. Inspiration. This is a good one to have, because quite frankly, this is just a pain in the butt if you want to go ahead and load out your companions with heavy artillery, if you don't have this one, because for some bizarre reason in the game, you're able to actually pretty much kill your companion, and they can kill you with grenades and heavy artillery. The same with normal weapons, if you're not careful. But at least if they got themselves a pistol or them AK or something, they're not gonna likely kill you too quickly compared to a bloody missile launcher or a whole bundle of dynamite or something. But as you can see, they do more damage in combat and can't hurt you at rank 1. Rank 2, they gain more resistance and damage, well, to damage in combat, and can't be harmed by your attacks. So you can just, if they're using melee weapons, you can just start pegging grenades and you don't have to worry about dropping them. And then finally, your companions can carry more items, which increases the amount of pounds that they can carry around on them, which could come in handy at times. And now, another perk of the Dark Tree, Cannibal. Where you go around and eating the human corpses to regain health. You don't have to kill a person either. It's any corpse out there that you can find that's human. You can easily just eat them. At rank 1. At rank 2, you get to eat ghouls and super mutants. So go around and eating zombies. How twisted is that? And then finally, the final one makes it so all 3 human, ghoul, and super mutants now restore a fair amount of health instead of the little bit that they do. But here's a little warning: survival mode, cannibal here comes with a slight risk, where you actually cannot go ahead and take care of any of your food requirements, unless you eat people. Because you get dark cravings. You're infected with dark cravings, and the only way to sustain your hunger is to eat people, instead of being able to eat food. So fair warning if you guys want me to go this route, because I'll be having to kill and eat a lot of people. So I hope you're not squeamish if that's the case. And we move along over the sniper, which can come in handy because you can improve your control of holding your and as well as hold your breath longer while aiming with scoped weapons. So it makes it so you don't get so much sway on your weaponry. Can come in quite handy. Damn it. Throat is too bloody dry. I'm getting to get all gunked up in it. Much better. Non-automatic weapons, well, scoped weapons that is, have a chance of knocking down your attack rifles. Non-automatic scoped rifles have a 25% accuracy to headshots and bats, which can be very handy, especially combined with a certain companion's perk, which gives you a 10% boost. Or was it 10% damage? I'm not sure. Any case. Then you got Basher, where you're able to use the butt of your gun, or depending on if you put a bayonet on your gun, you can stab them and do 25% more damage. Rank 2, 50% more damage and a chance to possibly cripple your enemy. 75% more damage with rank 3, and even greater chance to cripple your opponent. And then finally double damage, an increased chance to cripple your opponent, and it may also inflict a critical hit, which can be really cool, and especially pretty wild, because this is the only way to get a critical hit outside of Axe. Then we move down to rank 9 with Rooted. While you standing still, you have 25 damage resistance, and your melee and unarmed attacks do 25 more bloody damage. And as you see, as we progress through the ranks of it, 50 damage resistance and 50% more damage to melee and unarmed attacks that you do. And then finally, you automatically disarm enemy units that use melee weapons against you at rank 3, which can be really handy. Considering if someone's coming at you with a damn Ripper, those things hurt. But more specifically, if someone comes at you with a damn Super Sledge, that's a royal pain. Then you have the Penetrator, which allows you to shoot through bloody walls, floors, and all that. Can be very handy, but can only be really done in VATS. So you're able to see your enemy's body parts in VATS and able to shoot through the cover that they got. It does decrease the accuracy of hitting those parts, but if you got high enough perception, it does counteract it pretty nice. But if you get your second point, there's no decrease anymore into your accuracy. So you're able to shoot through without a problem. And then, if you wish to become a zombie, this is the way to go. Ghoulish. Radiation now regenerates your lost health. Radiation now regenerates even more lost health. Radiation regenerates even more lost health, and feral ghouls, in other words, the various zombies in the game, have a chance to become friendly to you at random, which can be cool. After all, there's two types of zombies in this game. You got your feral ghouls, which are the actual zombies, and then you have the normal ghouls, which are zombies with brains that actually talk and behave themselves and don't try to rip your limb from limb. They're the good zombies, so to speak. And then finally, rank 4. Radiation damage will now slowly heal you and restores your health. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty cool. Well, any case, we got Wasteland Whisperer, which are the bigger, badder little monsters in the game. The various mutated creatures like red scorpions and deathclaws and the like. This will give you a chance to pacify them when you point your gun at them, and it increases the chance, as well as make it so you can entice it to attack its fellows, as well as able to get full control over it, and then to give it specific commands. Pretty cool. Next up, we got the nuclear physicist. Physicist, sorry. Damn throat. Any case, your radiation weapons will do 50% more damage, and your fusion cores, which you need to use for your Gatling laser, as well as your power armor, will last for 25% longer. At rank 2, radiation weapons now do double damage, and your fusion cores last for 50% longer. And then finally, fusion cores can be ejected from your power armor like a devastating grenade, and fusion cores last twice as long. This is cool, but also a royal pain in the butt, because the thing is, the button that they got set for the whole eject your fusion core out is the exact same one for throwing your grenades. So you could literally go to throw your grenade, pop the fusion core out, and blow yourself up. I've done that more than once. It is a stupid system that they've set up like that. They really should set it up as a slightly different button combination for that one. But that's my opinion. Then we got Blitz, which is really handy for the melee builds, because while you're in bats, you're able to teleport certain distances and able to get in your melee hits. And it's even bigger distances with the rank 2 and more damage, as you can see. Then you got the 4-leaf clover, with the whole leprechaun fighting in the bar bit. Oh, excuse me. Each hit in VATS has a chance of filling your critical meter up full. Then, as the ranks progress, even better chances at filling it up, as you can see. To the point where you got like a 75% chance to 90% chance of filling it per hit. That's pretty good. Then we go down to Ricochet here, where there's a chance where the enemy's range attacks will ricochet off you and hit them and kill them. The closer you are to death, the higher the chance, and it can get pretty dicey at that point, but it can be pretty cool too. But as you can see, you can increase the chance of it with each rank to the final one, where it actually will. There's a chance where your critical meter will get filled. Since they wanted to give you as many perks towards VATS as they could for this game, but they left in one major bug that screwed that system up. And it's the one I mentioned, where I had to reboot my damn computer because of it and all that. Restart the game and everything. It is an annoying bug. Then you have Gun Fu, the ancient martial art of gunplay. Well, to gunplay. 25% more damage to your second VATS target and beyond. 50% more damage to your third and beyond. And then finally, you instantly do critical hit against your fourth target and beyond. Which can be very sweet if you got a whole group of them. And then you got Nerd Rage. When you basically you go from Bruce Banner to the Hulk, this one. When your health drops below 20%, time slows down and you go ahead and gain an additional 20 damage resistance and do 20% more damage while the effect lasts. It only lasts for a few seconds, but it's pretty cool. But as the ranks go up, 30 more damage resistance, 30% more damage while the effect's in Nerd Rage is in effect. And then finally, 40 damage resistance and 40 more damage while Nerd Rage is in effect. And kills you make while in Rage will restore some of your lost health, which can be sweet. And then we come to Intimidation. While you're aiming your gun at any human opponent below you, you got a chance to pacify. Then you got a chance to entice them to attack their fellow man. And then finally you get control over them, like you would your companion. Then we move over to Solar Power. well, somehow, which I usually try to grab early on if I'm running a full endurance build like this, because the additional 2 strength and additional 2 points to strength endurance during 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. does equal a bit of carry weight and a bit of extra health, which can come in very handy. At rank 2, it will slowly heal your radiation damage, so you don't have to start worrying about using right away. And then rank 3, you regenerate lost health during those periods. Then we move over to Consecrated Fire, where VATS, when you're in VATS, you're able to do more damage on the same body part, so to speak. Every attack on the same body part increases their accuracy. When you combine that with the rank 1 of this, it sort of negates the accuracy issue a bit. Then you go ahead and get 15% more damage on that same body part. And then finally, the same body part gets 20% accuracy and 20% damage boost. And last but not least, one of the very few perks for power armor. In fact, the only one that's combat based for power armor here. And that's Pain Train. Choo choo, motherfucker. Sort of thing. While wearing power armor, sprint into your enemies' herds and staggers them. Robots and oversized enemies are immune to the stagger, unfortunately. But, as you put more points in, you can cause more severe damage and a more powerful stagger, to the point where you can cause massive damage and knock them down. An impact landing near enemies inflicts more damage. So yeah, you can jump off a ledge, kill someone just landing on them. It can be fun at times, but also royal pain. And that is the perk trees lineup. Now, as you can see on the left, that's my health points. That little bit of red is radiation damage. As you can see on the right, there's the AP. This is me sprinting. As you can see, it slowly gets drained. Ow, I should not have stepped into the water. But as soon as I stop sprinting, it will regenerate. Let's see if I can find something. Ah, there we go, blowfly. That will do. Hey, blowfly. This is the VAT system. As you can see, it gives you accuracy meters. You got your critical meter. You choose the part. And if you want to use accuracy, since I'm using mouse and keyboard, you press space after you hit enter. And kablooey. That was a critical hit. That's how much damage that did. That's a normal. And you can spam, as you can see on here on the right. That's how much it costs for action in the form of action points. These little blobs is the reloads, and how much it costs on reloads. And that's how that system works. I'm just going to move away for the moment, so I don't really need to worry too heavily on those. But, because of survival mode, you do need to go ahead and keep an eye on the bottom right a bit where the action points are, because it will indicate if you need to sleep, eat, or drink. And if you don't do them enough, you can actually kill yourself via dehydration, starving yourself literally to death, or to the point where you don't get enough sleep that you have a nervous breakdown and just die. And that's basically it. Apart from the diseases, which you need antibiotics to cure in survival. I hope everyone has enjoyed the video. I will call it quits here. Like I said before in the comments, well, leave your little thoughts in the comments and let me know what sort of a character you want me to try and set up for the first episode. And as we progress, you can tell me what points to throw my skill points into what perks through the tree. Also, please do note which sort of points I should try and throw into special. Well, onto the special side. So, how many points to throw into strength, perception, endurance, agility, luck, and intellect. Right? That's only six. Strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intellect, agility, luck. There we go. Also, do note that at the beginning, you start off with 5 in each, and you only have gain enough for another 5 points. So you can only get like 1 to 10, I think. Maybe it was a little bit more than that. I think you could get them to about. Yeah, I think it was only. You could get 1 to max or off the mark, and keep the others at 5. Or you can try and just take the others down a bit and bring 1 or 2 more up a fair bit. So yeah, there is that. And there we go. So we'll leave it at that and find out what you guys think overall. So please do leave a comment below, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye bye.